When they told me they hated their deck, I knew exactly what they meant. Elevated back doors can be very tricky, and if the design is off, the whole space feels disconnected. Let me show you what I mean right now. I'm going to share my screen. Now, obviously you can see it's on this lake. It's a beautiful historic home on a lake in Michigan. It has this beautiful view outside of the lake, but let me show you the view out of the house. You can see that we have a serious elevated back door. It was literally 5 feet off of the ground, and the client absolutely hated the deck, just like most homeowners do. Let me get you a better shot of it out by the property line here. You can see that they had this, the deck right outside of the door. It came down to another deck that kind of was, kind of crammed with all the furniture that people usually cram their deck with. They even had some built-ins that kind of limited the space even more. And so this is a very, very common problem. The dreaded elevated back door. If you have an elevated back door in your home, you can absolutely agree with the frustration that this client had on how to create a true outdoor living space. So in this video, I'm going to show you how my client took this difficult situation with this elevated back door out of their house, and they dealt with it properly to come up with an unbelievable outdoor living space. Enjoy.
Yeah, down by where Fiona's standing, our dog there, it's about a 3 foot to 3.5 foot drop, which you can see in the survey. And we hate the fact she's been skunked. We get critters in her. I just so want to get rid of that deck.
I don't blame you.
But if we did, the problem is on that north side. If you're like from the floor, you can see where the block meets the siding there on that north corner. It's like a 5 or 6 foot drop, or down to the sidewalk.
So you can probably relate. They hated their deck. Critters lived underneath it. A skunk even came out and sprayed their dog Fiona. They hated the maintenance of the deck. They hated the look of the deck. And most importantly, the deck limited them from truly enjoying their backyard. And that's a shame, because this beautiful yard had a 180-degree view of the lake, and the deck was standing in the way of the experience that they wanted. So what did these clients do? And if you have an elevated back door of your home, what can you do with your outdoor space? Let me show you how my client solved this major problem that they were facing. So this is a raw, real-life experience. This is part of the final interview I did with the client. Listen to where they turned to for help after exploring multiple local options.
Well, I'm telling people because, we're seeing more patios pop up around the lake. Nothing quite this extensive yet, but you would certainly give you, if we hear something, we're going to say, yeah, this is the guy to call, Micah. Paying for a design fee is nothing compared to getting it right.
Oh gosh, thank you for saying that, because sometimes it's trying to convince people to pay for good design, but there's a lot of people that log in and they immediately know they want to use me. And those are the people that they see the value and they know that they're going to save a lot of money by getting a good design. All right, that's you.
Well, you know what? We designed our own bathroom.
Yeah, that was a good tip.
We learned that the hard way. So yeah, no, having you design it was worth every penny. It really is.
Yeah, the levels are great. The size of the spacing. We've had events here.
We would have never come up with this idea.
And we use every piece of it, every piece.
We had our grandson's birthday party here, and the thing I loved was having the way that you designed it. There's so many places for people to gather. Separate, just whatever people want to do. And I love that you can have such a large amount of people with so many separate areas.
I mean, it's like, if you need help and you want it done right, get a designer. Working with Molly was easy. And then the ability to be helpful along the way is huge. You are more than helpful, beyond helpful, and that's all. That's what I'd say. I said, just, I would tell anybody. I don't know anybody else that will do it like they do it, and so just hire Micah and their designer and get it done. And when you're stuck, you'll be fixed and can move on.
Dan and Ann were so gracious in describing their experience working with our company. Hearing my clients talk about how much they love their new outdoor space, that's what keeps me doing this. To hear how much they value this makes me want to share these thoughts with you, with everyone who has similar elevated back door out of their home issues. And I want you to get it right too. So let's start by taking a look at this old deck. I want to bring you in and show what they were dealing with. So take a look at this. And so this is what it looks like after that deck was removed. So if you have an elevated back door out of your house, the first thing I want you to think about is if you can do it without a deck. If you can create something without a deck. We've done it a number of times where we essentially, as we did here, we built this up with retaining walls, and then we created 2 elevations. And you can see that in the design. Here, let me just flip over to the design real fast. Okay, taking a look at the 3D rendering here, obviously there's the door, and we created this whole upper platform, and we did a whole kind of fire table sitting area there. And then we purposely left the railing off here so you could easily step into the hot tub, which was very nice. This is what I want you to try to do if you can. We've done it multiple different ways. This is just one of them where you do an outer wall, and I'll show you some of the construction photos. Let me just go back to that real quick. Okay, and here is where this starts to really show us what's going on. So that perimeter wall gave us our elevation. Our elevation, we wanted to try to get our elevation for that main patio up over by the casita. This is a little bar area that he has up here. But you can see once we get this wall all the way over, you can see that it naturally gives us the ability to add that second patio or the upper patio. And then you have this huge main patio level elevation. So again, instead of putting the deck in where it's just going to inhibit you, this is going to invite you out. Also, by the way, hardscaping and pavers, which the material that they went with, this is much less expensive around the country. In my market, it's 3 times less expensive to do a paver patio than it is to do a deck. So remember that you're actually saving money, and it's stronger material. It's going to last a lot longer, much easier to maintain, and you're not going to have critters and stuff living underneath that deck. So if you can do it, this is what I would strongly recommend. And let me show you how this all turned out. This is the design. By the way, I'll have a link to this so you can see it all. But I essentially have all the before photos on my website. You can kind of peek through everything here, see how everything looked. And then you could always go to the design and see how we overcame some of the obstacles of the project and how we gave the clear visuals. And then we have the beautiful finished photos here. Again, so here's that upper patio. And right from that upper patio, you get a gorgeous view of the lake, but you have a gorgeous bird's eye view of that whole main patio. And we did 5 distinct separate destinations, all in this main patio. Obviously, this fire wall or this retaining wall with a fire bar was one of the main things that you're going to see from this upper patio and from the windows. And just real quick, because everybody always asks me how we create these bar fireplaces, they're all custom made, but they're very easy. We use fire gear, so you might check this out. There's so much resources here at the Fire Gear website, and I can help walk you through how to build them all. But essentially, they're the Pro Series burners here, and you can go in and select the size that you need and the burner type that you need. In this situation, you'd use an H burner for the fire bar and show what size you need. I believe we used the 60, but this is the way you do it. It's just a kit, and then you would select what time of gas you have. And again, I can walk you through all of it, but I'll have a link below to the Fire Gear website. And they're great. If you have any questions, I'd also be happy to help answer those. And obviously, you got the beautiful view of the outdoor kitchen. We did the sink, the grill, the pizza oven, and then a garbage trash drawer and a refrigerator. And then here's that casita with a bar in front. So the homeowner loved it when friends would come over in the boat, dock, and then come on up and they'd have a drink with him. And then obviously another destination was the hot tub. And then, as you see here, this gorgeous dining area right below that main living space. So again, this is what I would challenge you to try to do. If you can use hardscape material, retaining walls with pavers, it will help you so much to start creating better outdoor living instead of just using that old deck that almost every contractor and designer still tries to do. So try to go with the hardscape material. You're going to love it. You're going to have multiple destinations and you're going to be a lot happier with the outcome. I'd love to help you. Obviously, this is what I do and I care deeply about helping you get it right. I'll show you everything in 3D so there's no guesswork. And I always tell my clients, you will save money with clear visuals. You're not going to be making mistakes. By the way, I also help you navigate through all the way through to construction, as Dan was referencing there. So I don't charge any additional for that. I just help you every step of the way. All right, guys, a quick little tutorial on how to deal if you have that elevated back door on your home. Try your hardest to not do a deck. I would encourage you to watch this video. It's all about why you should not do a deck. And I reference many other projects that have that high upper door in that project. So go ahead and take a look at that. All right, guys, have a great day. If you need anything, as always, link below. I'd love to help you out. Talk to you later. Bye.